Hi, Sue.
Hey, Nancy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me.
That's my
Um,
pleasure.
so, did you know that NASA's planning to put astronauts on the moon in 2024?
I don't know. I just heard from you.
You just heard from me. 99% of the people I interview say the exact same thing.
Yes.
So, if you were NASA and you wanted more people to know about it, what would you do? Like, what would they have to
I
do in
pass
order?
your word to my friends, the people I know around me,
Okay.
just like breakthrough news.
Do you know the last time that people landed on the moon?
Last time.
Like, do you think it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
I think 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Would you believe 1972?
1972, my gosh.
I know.
Yes, many years ago. I cannot count.
I know. That's like, what, 40?
Why we stopped do that? Why we didn't send more people in the moon after 1972?
Well, it cost a lot of money. And the reason why we invested the money to go to the moon was because of the time we were competing against the Russians. They had created the first satellite. They put the first man in orbit. They did all these firsts. And at the time, there's like that big kind of struggle between trying to get people on the American side or on the USSR side. And so a lot of people were saying USSR looks like they're more technologically advanced, and Americans were getting scared. And so it was like, we'll go to the moon and show that we're better.
Right, we are better, okay? But I heard that China is going to launch space into the moon and bring some minerals. Is it right?
That's right. So like this year, they
Yeah, I heard that.
landed their second rover on the moon, and it's still operating after a whole year of being on the moon. And next year, they're planning to land a probe on the moon, collect some rocks, and send it back to Earth.
Yes, they are going to collect more minerals from moon. Bring back to
Exactly.
Earth. Okay.
Exactly, like 2 kilograms is what they're expecting.
So how you compare China's space program, to the U.S. space program?
So China's space program is really advancing quickly because this year they actually launched more rockets into space than any other country. United States is the second, and then I think Europe, Russia is the third,
Oh, okay.
like this. But they next year they plan to send their first rover to Mars. And they plan to start launching like a space station that's going to be much bigger than the space station they had before. And it's like
Just
really,
all the, related with the high technology, also with the money. How much money you put into the program, right?
yeah, but it means how you spend the money too. I think one problem in the U.S. is it's spent for political reasons, and so maybe it's not spent the most effectively. And so we're paying like contractors to do stuff, but
No,
they're like
very
doing it
efficient.
very inefficiently.
Okay. Do the U.S. government going to put more funding in the NASA program, or they cut the spending?
They increased NASA's funding by like almost 1.5 billion this year.
Okay.
So it's like used to be like around 20 billion. Now it's like around 22, 23 billion. So they're actually increasing the funding.
Increase. Okay. That's a good news.
But even better news is they're using private companies more to provide services.
Okay.
So like there's this commercial lunar payload service where they're actually paying these companies to actually deliver experiments to the moon, but they're only paying for the delivery. The company is responsible for creating the rover, creating the lander, getting it launched and everything. And if there's extra capacity, they could do whatever they want to with it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that private company does better than contractor. More
And
efficient.
yeah, if you buy it as a service, and you
pay
have
service. Yeah. Yes.
the competition.
Yes. Between the private sectors.
So one of the things that they want to do is have the first woman land on the moon in 2024. Like a woman has never been on the moon. Do you think that's an important milestone, or what do you think about that?
I think right now the woman can do everything man does, right?
Yeah.
It's not a surprise, but the first woman landing on the moon with still, it's kind of breaking news.
Exactly. But maybe it's news that we want to hurry up and make routine and make it not news.
Yeah, not the news. Okay, just like everything man can does, woman can does too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what do you think they'll find on the moon?
What's the question?
Like, what do you think they'll find on the moon? Like, what do you think they'll discover?
Discover. I think right now is the scientists trying to find if the people really can live in the moon in the future.
Uh-huh.
We really have the space for people really move to the moon. To reduce the crowd in the Earth. Is that really final purpose or just for the science study? What's the final purpose for this research?
Oh, what is the final purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that there is a final purpose. I think we keep making little steps and.
Step, okay. I just think the final maybe since we spend huge money on this research, must be something we can really use to the to the really human beings.
Yeah.
Not just for research. Research costs so much. You must have some realistic result.
That's true. But one of those results may not be something physical. It could be intellectual.
Yeah. That's true.
Like perspective.
Perspective. Yes.
For example, apparently, in like 1968, I think it was, we had our first mission that went around the moon, and those astronauts saw Earth as a little bitty sphere, just like we see the moon, and they took a picture, and it was very impactful. And the World Day was created in like 1970. The day to look at the environment and what have you. The EPA was founded around that time, and a whole bunch of other changes as a result of maybe seeing how fragile Earth is.
The Earth. Okay.
And special.
Yeah. Some advanced research always help people in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe. Let's see, 2024. They've just launched from the Earth. They're about to land on the moon. Do you see yourself at a party celebrating when they land, or what would you do?
Of course, I will celebrate. That's a big achievement. In the Earth, in the moon, but we are on the Earth. We can celebrate for these events.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Would you go to the moon?
Definitely not. I'm too scared.
You're scared.
I don't want to get too far from my family. Even I cannot come back to the Earth.
But you're an adventurous person. You go camping and you go to like the Grand Canyon.
But not that,
This is like the ultimate Grand Canyon trip.
For me, if my feet can step on the Earth, I feel I'm safe. I have my security spot, right? If my feet was up the air, I'm scared anyway.
You don't like the idea of floating?
No, I'm just too scared. Just you are floating in the air. Seems you cannot grab something. You cannot hold something. I see that's the people. Once you can step something, it's very solid. You say, okay, I'm safe. That's why when I fly in the air, they're too challenging. Anyway.
Too challenging. So like skydiving is not something you're interested in?
No. It's not that. I'm little bit adventure, but not that much.
How about scuba diving?
I've never done that before.
But do you think you might?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
No, I scare every kind of, high altitude heights,
Well, that's, not skydiving, scuba diving. How about scuba diving under the water?
Underwater, no. Yeah. I tried to one time, but I too scared. I didn't really go on the ocean.
Oh well.
I'm just too ordinary people. I just really feel as on the ground, I'm more safe.
More safe on the ground.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Thank you.
Any questions I should have asked you?
Yeah, I maybe can learn more from you about the, this moon program, what's the recent, development, new research. Okay.
Well, since the last time we went to the moon, we discovered there's ice in the moon. Apparently, the moon has like a 1 degree tilt, and it has like these big craters on lots of places. But over billions of years, ice from comets and what have you have gotten into these areas that are permanently in shadows, like negative 200 degrees Celsius.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently, there's like millions of tons of ice that we can use.
Okay, is the moon much cold?
Well,
From
the moon.
Earth, because you're not too far from sun.
Well, on the night side, it has negative 200 degrees Celsius, and on the sunlight side is positive 200 degrees Celsius. It gets very hot, very cold. It has no atmosphere really to speak of.
Yes.
So
okay, it's right now not a livable condition
Yes.
for human beings.
On the place where you can see the light, it's frying. On the place where it's a shadow, it's freezing.
Freezing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very.
Yeah, but you cannot change that, right?
You can change that, but you could
Yeah.
build
a
habitats to live in.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Apparently, there's like these lava tubes, like big caves underneath that might be more moderately temperature.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah, still on the research, start stage.
exactly. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.